Hello, beautiful people. Today, 16th of October. My name is Sahil, and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, first of all, let's have a look on today's GS folder. So, today we'll take a quote from the Ella Bhatt, the founder of the SEVA. Now, guys, you might have heard the name SEVA, which stands for Self-Employed Women's Association, which is a type of a trade union which propagates the rights of the low income independent self-employed female workers. Now, guys, the Ella Bhatt had equated the poverty with our moral responsibility. She says it is our moral failure that we still tolerate poverty. Basically, guys, the presence of poverty shows that how much apathetic the humanity has become, that we are not able to feel the pain of the people when they are not getting the basic necessities of their life fulfilled. So, guys, the poverty is representative of the moral failure, the degenerations of the values. Now, guys, this particular quote can be utilized in GS paper number 2, where specifically the poverty has been mentioned, as well as into the GS paper number 4, that is the compassion towards the weaker sections. So, guys, that's it for today's GS folder, and now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper first. Friends, you can download the PDF notes of all the newspaper articles that we are taking, as well as the infographics which we are using in our video from our Telegram channel. The link has been given into the description. Moreover, the daily MCQ are also provided in our Telegram group. Now, guys, the first article talks about the GST controversy which is going on between the center and the state government. So we'll see this entire issue along with an article from the Live Mint. Then, guys, this article talks about then adopt an animal program scheme. So we'll see this entire issue. After that, guys, moving forward, here we can see that the triple talaq has been mentioned. So this particular issue, we'll be seeing that what it is all about. After that, guys, the regional section, much news with respect to the regional issues have been mentioned, not important. Now, guys, we come to the editorial section. This editorial talks about the need of multilateralism and how it is reflected by the Nobel Peace Prize. So we'll take this entire article. Then, guys, this article is talking about the recent heavy rains which happened into the Hyderabad. Guys, a very journalistic kind of article has been given. Much important substance is not there. Then, guys, this particular article talks about the road to zero hunger by 2030. We'll be seeing it. Then, guys, this article is talking about the Thailand protest. After that, guys, this article talks about the TRPs. So with this particular thing, we'll see an ethical angle with respect to the TRP scam. Then, guys, this article talks about the Bollywood's moment of truth. Guys, nothing important has been given here. Then, guys, moving forward, as we move now, guys, here we can see that first of all, it has been said that the talks are in progress with respect to the China. However, guys, day-to-day developments you are not needed to see. You can ignore it. Then, guys, moving forward, here we can see that the Supreme Court has observed that the crime against women are still going on. However, some important policy implication, etc., has not been mentioned. Then, guys, here you can see that the India's doubling rate has increased to 73 days. Now, earlier it was nearly 25.5 days into the August. Now it has increased. However, you not need to see such kind of data because every day they will be changing. Then, guys, the Prime Minister had said that more serological surveys and testing is needed to be scaled up. Guys, here just a one-liner concept. Bhanu Athaiya has passed away, who was the winner of the Oscar Prize. She was given the Oscar for designing of the costume for 1983 movie Gandhi, which was a biopic onto the Mahatma Gandhi. Then, guys, moving forward, the showcase page, nothing important has been given with respect to our exam. Then, guys, the world page, the Thai protest has again going on, which is there also into the editorial page. Now we move to the business page. Here, guys, the recent Moody's forecast with respect to the mini stimulus has been mentioned. We'll see this thing implication. After this, guys, this particular news pertains to the encryption access by the India. So we'll see this entire issue. After that, guys, the world sports page news with respect to the IPL, etc., has been given. Not important for our paper. So that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now, guys, taking up the first news. So this particular news pertains to the controversy of the GST that was going on between the center and the state government. Now, guys, this particular article I had taken from the Hindu as well as from the Live Mint newspaper. Now, first of all, quickly we will recap that what has happened. Friends, if you know this entire thing, you can skip to 40, 30, 40 seconds. But if you don't know, then you can pay the attention. Now, guys, we had known that 101st Constitutional Amendment Act was passed by which the GST was implemented. And major state taxes such as the VAT, purchase tax, etc., were subsumed under the GST. And now, guys, here the center government gave an assurance to the state governments that they will get whatever revenue earlier they were having. It was said that 2015-16 will be taken as a base year, and on to that particular level, all the states will be compensated their money. Plus, 14% extra compensation will be given as an increment for the next 5 years. So, whatever they were getting earlier, that plus 14% extra. Moreover, guys, it was also said that if there is any shortfall, then it will be met by a GST compensation cess. So, guys, a new cess was also imposed. It was said that the items such as the luxury cars, the SUV cars, the tobacco products, soft drinks, on that we will install a GST compensation cess, and from here we will give you the money if there is any shortfall. Now, guys, as the pandemic had happened, there is a shortfall into the GST, and this shortfall is being accounted to nearly 3 lakh crore rupees. It means that if we fulfill our promise that on to the basis of 2015-16 base year, if we calculate the entire revenue, then that revenue is short of 3 lakh crore rupees. Now, guys, you remember the GST compensation cess was there. So from there, additional 65,000 crore rupees can come, but still there was a gap of 2 lakh 35,000 crore rupees. Now, guys, center government has said that out of this money, our responsibility is only 97,000 crore rupees, because this is the shortfall due to the poor design of the GST, and remaining is just an act of God. So therefore, center taken the responsibility only for 97,000 crore rupees. And guys, then the center gave two options to the state. Option number A, that you can borrow the entire 97,000 crore rupees via a special window, or you can borrow entire 2,35,000 crore rupees on your own from the open market. So, guys, it was said because of these particular things that the center government has cheated the state governments. It is a fiscal adharma. All these kind of things were used. Now, guys, what has happened? Just a few changes. First of all, guys, this 97,000 crore rupee responsibility that the center has taken, it extended it to 1,10,000 crore rupees into the last GST meeting. So now the central government is taking responsibility of 1,10,000 crore. Moreover, guys, it was said that the still state government should borrow this particular money, and that money they don't need to pay from their own pocket. It was said that the GST compensation says that we had already installed. Originally, that was for 5 years. It was said that we will extend it for next 7 years or 9 years, and from there we will fulfill that particular debt. So, guys, these particular things had happened into the past. Now, guys, there was a dispute, and the dispute was this, that the state governments wanted, non-BJP state government wanted that the center government should borrow the money and should give to the state. They themselves don't wanted to borrow. Now, guys, what has happened? Again, the GST council meet happened, and here the finally center government had said that okay, we will borrow the money and we will give you the money. But here there is a condition. Condition is this, that the center will borrow, but that particular money will be given to state as a loan. It means that money will be reflected into the books of the state government as the loan, not into the center government's books. It means that the fiscal deficit for the center government will not be affected in any way. Now, guys, 21 states and UTs have agreed that okay, you can borrow and give us the money, whereas there are some other states which are non-BJP ruled state, particularly the 9 states such as the Kerala, West Bengal, Punjab, etc. They had said that no, you borrow the money as well as you show that money as your debt and give us the money. We don't want to show that money as our debt. And they had said that if you will not do this particular thing, we will go to the Supreme Court. They say that give us the money as a compensation cess and not as a back to back loan. Now guys, don't get confused. What is the difference between this earlier one and this now one? In earlier one, the state were to borrow as well as the debt was also of the state. Now the center will borrow and the debt will be of the state. So guys, all this thing has happened, but still fully the problem has not been solved, because these 9 states have said that we will go to the Supreme Court. So guys, this is the entire issue in this particular regard, very important for our GS paper number 3, public finance. So guys, that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article talks about the zoo revival scheme, and this particular thing could be very important for our GS paper number 3, ecology. Now, before going into the present news item, I will tell you some background. Friends, world over, a kind of a program has been initiated by many agencies and countries, that is adopt an animal. Now, adopt an animal means that the concerned citizens will select some of the species of animal and will pay money for his animals upkeep, its food, its enclosure, its vaccination, and all these kind of things. Now, this particular adopt an animal program has three type of advantages. Number one, it helps in the resource pooling. Many a times the zoo etc might not have the money to feed the animal. Second guys, it increases the consciousness among the people for the animal. Now people stays more humane towards their treatment, because guys, when they are paying money, they develop a kind of an implicit bond with the animal, and therefore by this particular thing the ethical treatment of animals will be there. Thirdly guys, it is a symbol of compassion. Compassion means that you are actively taking efforts to relieve someone's misery. So guys, it is basically a very good initiative. Now, worldwide fund for nature, that is a WWF, has already started adopt an animal program. And guys, WWF, when I am talking about it, it is an international NGO which works for the conservation upkeep of the animals. Its headquarters are in Gland, Switzerland. Moreover guys, the worldwide fund for nature, WWF, it releases some important publications also. For example, the living planet report it publishes. Then guys, it has also started the earth hour, in which the citizens they switch off their lights for 1 hour between 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. into the month of March. Already friends, this question onto the earth hour has been asked into the UPSC exam. And guys, WWF has also started the debt for nature swap program. Now what is this debt for nature swap program? Under this guys, the developing countries which has been provided the loan, their loan amount will be forgiven. Some part of the loan amount will be forgiven if they had taken the efforts for the conservation of the animals. So into this debt for nature swap, the developing countries are getting some kind of incentive. So all these are taken by the WWF. Now guys, this was on to the global level. Now coming to the present news item. So the same thing in India is also being done. So there is a Nandan Kanan Zoological Park into the Bhubaneswar, Odisha, which had felt the burnt of the lockdown. And guys, now they are finding it very hard to feed the animals. So they had started adopt an animal program where the citizens can adopt any animal, from a bird even to a tiger. Rupees 500 to 2.5 lakh rupees can be given. And guys, the money which will be given for adopting an animal, that particular thing is also eligible for the income tax rebates under the IT Act 1961. So guys, this particular thing is a very good step, and in India also all these three objectives will be fulfilled by it. Now guys, some more issues in this particular respect. First of all, Nandan Kanan Zoological Park, not first time it has started adopt an animal program. It is doing this particular thing since 2008, and it is also not the only one. Many other zoos also are doing this particular thing. So friends, this is all about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article talks about an important women issue and can be highly important for our GS paper number 2, where the women issues and social justice has been mentioned. Now guys, it is talking about the triple talaq. Before coming into the article, let's have a look on some background. Now the triple talaq or the talaq-e biddat, It is a kind of an instant divorce where a husband can give a divorce to a wife by saying talaq three times. Now, guys, this particular thing is being practiced from so long, and it has been called as violative of Article number 14, because it was said that unilaterally only the male husband has been given the power to give the talaq. Women don't have that kind of power. Moreover, by this, gender rights are also being impacted. Women's subjugation also happens by this triple talaq. Now, guys, under the Shaira Bano versus Union of India case, a petition was made against the triple talaq. Now, in 2017, in the Shaira Bano case, Supreme Court held that the triple talaq is an unconstitutional thing. Now, before, guys, declaring it as unconstitutional, there was a controversy with respect to the article number 25. Now, you might be knowing that Article 25 provides right to conscience, practice, profess, and propagate one's religion. Now, it has been said that when one person is practicing his religion, so religion has sanctioned the triple talaq. So, you can't take away triple talaq. Now, guys, under Article number 25, reasonable restrictions can be imposed. Now, going little bit onto the technical lines, guys, when we are talking about the Article 25, there could be two things particularly to a religion. One is an essential practice, other is a non-essential practice. So when a religion is concerned, you can take the non-essential practices but not the essential practices. So basically, Supreme Court held that the triple talaq is a non-essential practice to the Islam, and they said that triple talaq is unconstitutional. On this particular basis, the government came out with the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019. Now, guys, here it was said that triple talaq is void, it is illegal, and it is punishable also. So, into the section number 4 of the Muslim Women Act 2019, 3-year jail has been provided if he goes for the triple talaq. Now, guys, a question has been raised. It has been said that when you have made the triple talaq as illegal, it means that when the talaq has not anyhow happened, how the husband will be condemned to the punishment, and that of the 3 years. So on this particular provision, a petition was has been made to the Delhi High Court, and it this particular provision has been said to be called as unconstitutional. Now, guys, the Delhi High Court has taken up the plea and had asked the response from the center government on this particular thing. So, guys, into the times to come, center government might give its response, but till then, it will be a offense. So, guys, this is all in this particular direction, and now we'll move to the next article. Now, friends, this particular article I had clubbed here two editorials. One is the message in the Peace Nobel, The Road to Zero Hunger by 2030. Now, guys, these two articles are important for GS paper number 2, developmental issues, as well as within the GS paper number 2, the issues of hunger has been given. There is the issue of peace, and there is the issue of the multilateralism. So, cumulatively, it will provide a good coverage. Now, before going into the article, just to give you a background, recently the Nobel Prizes were declared, and the Nobel Peace Prize has been given to the United Nations World Food Program because they had provided food to the people into the conflict ridden countries where the humanitarian crisis was going on. Now, guys, since the WFP has been given the Nobel Peace Prize, there are hundreds of articles in all of the newspapers, guys, or not only into the India but onto the global level, where it has been said that certain issues, that is the poverty, peace, food, multilateralism, all these things are connected with each other. Guys, it has been said that simply by providing food to a person, you can solve all these lingering problems also. So on to this particular thinking only. Earlier also we had seen some quotes. For example, we had seen the quote from the Lord John Boyd, where he had said that the peace can't be built on empty stomachs. As well as into the yesterday's discussion also, we had taken a quote from the Ban Ki-moon, where he has talked about the poverty, economic growth. All these are the same things. So this particular year, there could even be an essay on this particular line. Now, guys, seeing these issues, Now, it has been said that the COVID 19 is a kind of an existential crisis. Existential crisis means that our human existence is in danger. There are no borders for this COVID 19. It has impacted all the countries from the west to the east. And as this COVID 19 started, it was thought that the world countries will come together. Cumulatively, we will fight this particular disease. And in that particular response, even the World Health Organization WHO established the COVAX facility into the month of April. It was said that the funding, the research, the intervention, the distribution all should be pooled under a single roof. But on contrary, what happened? It was seen that the nationalism turned to be more important factors. All the countries singularly they went into the spree and started to develop the vaccines. Now guys, you can see that every country are having 2 3 4 contenders, and singularly they are working on that particular thing. And now as singularly the countries are making their own vaccines, the issue of the vaccine nationalism has also come, where it has been said that the first country who will make the vaccines, they will only be caring for their own citizens. And in this particular thing, the fight for the pandemic will be impacted. How the poor countries such as sub-Saharan African countries, how they will get the vaccine. Moreover guys, not only they will be focusing on to their own countries, rather the developed nations such as the US, Germany, France, Australia, they and Japan, they had also went into a spree where they are nearly buying all the vaccines. So it has been said that into the COVID-19, that togetherness has not been seen. Now, as the World Food Program has been given the Nobel Peace Prize, guys, it has been said that it is an expression that now the multilateralism is needed, because the UNWFP is having so many members. So it is an affirmation that a kind of a unified approach is needed right now. Moreover, it has been said that the United Nations this year is celebrating its 75 year, and in a way it is also celebrating the multilateralism. But actually United Nation in itself is not reflective of the present global order. For example, into the permanent five member, there is no space for India, and even India might not be getting it, seeing the attitude of the P5 nations. Guys, it has been said that multilateralism is needed, but the organization is not able to bring it by their rigid patterns. Moreover, even the countries are not recognizing the value of the multilateralism. Now, countries, whenever they meet, they are centered onto the conflict rather than the cooperation and solidarity. Guys, I will give you example. See, in any multilateral meet, if there are China and USA, they will sling mud on each other's face. If India and Pakistan are there, they will call each other as the rogue states and all the such kind of thing. Similar in ways, guys, there are so many countries, so many conflicts, and only these things are being talked about, rather than it is not being talked as how maximal response to the pressing problems of the humanity can be given. And same thing is happening on two very sensitive issues. For example, climate change, the issues with respect to the poverty, hunger, eradicating the pandemic. There are no consensus on all these things. Guys, it has been said that the countries need to show the maturity, and solidarity has to be given a call. It has also been said that the globalization will going to be will be staying here, and we need to recognize that we anyhow had to work under a same umbrella, and therefore it is better to find a cooperation rather than the conflict. So guys, the multilateralism is needed. Now secondly, talking specifically about the issue of the hunger. So guys, as World Food Program has been given the Nobel Peace Prize, the World Food Program itself has said that there are 690 million people who every day go hungry. Then there are 100 million new people who might be sleeping hungry because of the economic impact of the COVID-19. And some more data, there are 132 million people, including the children, who are severely malnourished. And guys, by these particular thing, we can simply see that we are not on track to achieve the sustainable developmental goal 2, which talks about eradicating the hunger. Now, on to this hunger front, India has been able to do something good. For example, India had ensured that 820 million people are given food via the PDS system as the pandemic was going on. But still, much is to be done into the case of India. Now, guys, some data has been given. It has been said that according to the Comprehensive National Nutrition Survey of 2018-19, 40 million children in India are malnourished, 50% of women in India are anemic. And as the climate change is also posing the problem, the further problems will accentuate. The productivity will go even more down. The pest and locust attacks, which we see in 2020, they will also be increasing much more. And guys, the impact will be even more problematic onto the small and marginal farmers because they don't have the means to shield them with all these kind of problems. And in India, 88% of farmers have less than 2 hectare of land. It means, guys, our agriculture, our farmers, our people who are poor, they will be severely impacted into the pandemic. So guys, again, what could be the solution in this particular thing? Multilateral help. Rich nations should come together and should identify that the problem of poverty, problem of hunger is not only for their own country, rather it is a global issue. They should recognize that the pandemic response is not only for them, rather it is a global response. So guys, it first of all, multilateralism needs to respond. Moreover, other solutions can also be there. For example, we need to work on to the agroecology. Agroecology means that our agriculture patterns should be such that they are sustainable, they don't impact the environment. For example, in North India, you will find that wheat and rice are being grown by using the groundwater. This is not agroecology, it is against that thing. Then guys, we need to also work on to the food wastage. According to the FAO, 1 by 3rd food is wasted. And guys, this 1 by 3rd food is more than enough to feed the bellies of the people. For example, I told you that 690 million people are going hungry, so they can be fed if this 1/3 food is not wasted. Moreover, it has been said that we need to redesign the entire food system. Now, guys, this world food system is very much important. It means that the growing, harvesting, using the inputs there, how we will process that food, all these things will come into the food system. So we need to redesign them entirely in sync with the emerging problems. What are the emerging problems? Land is going down every day, population is going up every day, so these emerging problems are there. Then there are the socio-economic disparities, such things are there, climate change is there, soil degradation is there. So with these emerging problems, we need to redesign them. Moreover, global solidarity has also to be focused, and in this global solidarity, there are certain organizations which can provide very much important feedback. For example, the Food and Agricultural Organization, World Food Program, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, they can provide much important insights. Therefore, they should be given a much open hand. They should be given the financial autonomy, their funding should be enhanced, and the cooperation and solidarity needs to be there. So guys, all these issues have been there, and very good insights have been provided by both of these articles cumulatively. So that's it about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article talks about the regulation of the TRP. First of all, guys, 2 times into the last week, I had discussed this TRP issue, where first time I discussed that how these TRPs are calculated and what was this entire scam. And latest on 13th October on again, I discussed this TRP issue into this article, the tyranny of TRP, where we had seen the issues involved with the TRP, including the organizations such as a TAM and INTAM, which were involved with this TRPs. We also seen that how into the hyperconnectivity, Netflix and YouTube could be an inspiration. So guys, basic bottom line is this, that if you are aloof very much with this TRP issue, it is advisable that please see this article. Now guys, coming to the today's article. So today's article having much of the things which are not at all needed for our UPSC exam, but one fundamental issue is there which is very important. We'll see that thing. That is, this TRP scam, it has been said it is not only a financial scam, but it is also an ethical scam. Now, how we can correlate these things? So guys, in article only one point has been given, but we'll try to bring other things also from our GS paper number 4, and it can be a very important attachment. Number one, guys, in India, advertising industry is nearly 27,000 crore rupees industry, and this particular pie is will be distributed among those people who are reflective of the audiences, and therefore everybody wants to show that we are the actual representative. And in this particular thing, what they are doing, they are actually showing such kind of content which is very toxic, which is filled with hatredness, bigotry, all these kind of things. And guys, in that particular thing, a feather has been added by manipulating the TRP. So this TRP manipulation along with the chase for the advertising revenue shows that the broadcasters, the news agencies, have turned into a systematic disinformation outlets. And this particular thing is a moral decline, ethical decline. Why? Because it has been said that a person should uphold his duty, he should uphold his dharma, and the dharma of the news agency is to give an unbiased viewpoint, and such dharma is not being upheld. Secondly, guys, this TRP scam, along with the low quality news broadcast, shows that media has been given a constitutional responsibility under article number 19. Guys, you will say that under article 19 they have been given right to speech and expression, but that right has to be used to fulfill their responsibility to educate the people, and that particular responsibility is not being fulfilled. So guys, this TRP manipulation is a low point into the media ethics. After that, guys, see, by manipulating the TRP, actually the advertising revenue is going to that particular show which actually was not reflective of the people's choices, and this particular thing is a kind of a moral corruption. So guys, we can provide these particular dimensions in this particular light. So that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now friends, this particular article talks about the crisis that is going into the Thailand. Now guys, again a new emergency kind of measure has been taken, and the ban has been extended onto the public gatherings. The media has been censored, and the demonstrators had now seen a kind of a even more bigger resistance. Now guys, first of all, into this article nothing important has been given. However, on 21st of September, at this particular timestamp, I had traced this entire article from the historical backgrounds. And if you don't know anything into this Thailand issue, then you can refer to this particular article at this particular timestamp. In the article, nothing substantial has been given. So that's it, friends. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article is with respect to GS paper number 3 concerning to the fiscal policy of the government. Now, guys, first of all, I will tell you some background and then this article will make some sense. See, just 2 days back, we had seen that the center government had given a mini fiscal stimulus worth rupees 73,000 crore. We had seen that their government had given the LCT concessions were to be used for buying of consumer durables. Then the center government will be utilizing some money for the capital expenditure. States were to be given some money. Employees were to be given 10,000 rupees worth of loan. So 73,000 crore rupees mini fiscal stimulus was there. Now, there is the credit rating agency Moody's. Moody's had said that actually this mini fiscal stimulus is proving to be negative for India. It means that India is having a limited budget firepower. It means that India didn't had the money to give a proper stimulus, and therefore it went for this small stimulus and will be negatively impacting the India's credit rating. And guys, as I had used the word credit rating, I would like to tell you something additional here from the June. Into June already, the Moody's have downgraded the India's credit rating. Two credit ratings have been downgraded. That is the long-term foreign currency rating and the long-term local currency rating. First of all, what is the difference between these two? Long-term foreign currency rating means that how much capable a country is to pay the money that it has taken from the foreign sources. For example, the money that we have taken from the international organizations, and the local means that how capable we are to fulfill our obligations of the money that we have taken from the internal sources, that is from the bond market and all these kind of things. Now, what happened into the June? Our rating was moved to BAA3 from the BAA2. Now, guys, here if you will see the Baa3, India's present rating is just above the junk grade. Now, the junk are those whose credit worthiness is very much less. And guys, just if one level, if India goes down, we will turn into a non-investment grade, which is a kind of a speculative investment, and this will be very much harmful for the government need to then give much more interest for the money that it will borrow, and it will also impact the investor sentiments into India. New investments will not come, which will impact the growth of India into the long term. And guys, it has been said earlier that India's future prospects are also not very good, and in that particular thing this mini stimulus might be working in a negative way. Now guys, further Moody's had said that India's GDP will contract, that is minus 11.5%. India's GDP will go. Moreover, this 73,000 crore rupees which has been given, it is only worth 0.2% of real GDP of India. Therefore, it will not be bringing any substantial impact to the Indian economy. And along with this, guys, if we consider even the total money that India had given into the fiscal stimulus, including that Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, where government said that 20 lakh crore rupees will be given, guys, actually the money spent is 1.2% of GDP, whereas the similar countries on India's level had given 2.5% of their GDP into the stimulus. So India had not given even the half. So therefore it has been said that India is not reflective of the positive sentiments. So guys, this is all into this particular thing, and here we had seen that how sometimes governments economic policies might go opposite into the direction. So that's all about this particular news. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, here a very brief news article we need to see what has happened. An RTI has been filed for India's decision to join a move to seek the encryption access. Now, what is this entire issue? Guys, six countries, that is the UK, USA, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and India, they had made an appeal to the big tech giants such as Google, Facebook, etc., that they provide them the encrypted data's access. Now, just assume that if two people are having a chat, now this particular chat is end to end encrypted. It means that in between nobody can read it. Now, government wants that the access can be given to it if there is some question with respect to the public safety. Earlier, such appeal was made to the WhatsApp also, but WhatsApp had earlier denied this particular thing, and now these six countries have made these appeals. So, guys, with respect to the India's participation, a kind of an RTI was appealed by the IFF, that is the Internet Freedom Foundation, that why India is doing this thing. So, guys, just that's it. Nothing apart from this particular thing into this article. So guys, that's it for today's newspaper discussion. Guys, every day's MCQ you can attempt on our Telegram group into the quiz format. So guys, that's all for today's newspaper analysis. I hope you have liked our video. Thank you so much.